All right, welcome back to TCI's Tajh's Take. That's Tajh Boyd, my guy right here. Will Vandervoort. Taj, this is interesting because, you played here 4 years, 5 years count your redshirt years, so you saw some things. Road games, you saw a lot of things.
Absolutely.
So let's start off there. Clemson plays in Tallahassee. It's always been a tough place to play for the Tigers. I think 2-11 all time.
Right.
In Tallahassee since Florida State joined the ACC. So
is that what it is? 2-11.
2-11.
Wow.
Yeah, 2006 and 2016.
Wow.
Yeah. It's crazy, ain't it?
It is.
I didn't realize it either until I looked up the numbers the other day. I was like, yeah, that's kind of crazy.
Right.
First of all, though, so let's start off. What it's like playing in Tallahassee. You always had to play at night.
Right.
So that's a little bit. You were going up against 83,000 and it's ESPN and game day there. A little bit different kind of atmosphere, but still, tough place to play, right?
2012 was it game day?
2012 was a game day.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
We put up 35 points and still couldn't do nothing with it, Different time. No, Florida State, it's weird, man, because I had a perception of it coming into the game. Didn't know if it was going to necessarily live up to it. The first half, it didn't. I mean, it was game day. It was a huge game for us. Obviously going into an arena like that, I was only able to really play on it on the video game back when it existed. Right. So to see it on TV, to play with it in the video game, it was a dream come true to get out in that arena and know all the greats that have stepped on that field right there. But the first half was sluggish for them. You know what? The crowd, man, we took them out of the game early.
Y'all did. Got up a couple
because
scores.
At the time, coming into the game, they hadn't been scored on, at least a touchdown, the whole season.
I remember that.
Up to that. So we came out first drive.
Boom.
Third play of the game, I think it was like 3rd and 7. Nuke's running the post. I got pressure in my face. I throw it up. Next thing you know, Nuke's in the end zone, man.
Yeah,
and it kind of erupted, and I was really excited on the sideline. Kind of had a Jake Bentley moment, Threw a chair. Super excited. Was screaming. Kind of out of my character a little bit. But, I was so fired up and so jacked up because all we had been hearing was how elite this defense was. So to go out there and do it.
Opening
drive.
Yeah.
That was pretty special for us. And everything looked fine. Crowd was silent. I said, this ain't what I thought it was, Second half rolls around. Things started to open up a little bit. They return a kickoff, I believe. You get down there to about the 1-yard line.
Yeah, that was the play that kind of turned the momentum.
Man, look, next thing you know, I looked up, and it was like I got hit in the head, and I really opened my eyes for the first time. Crowd was just erupted out there. It was just electric. I looked over, saw some of those guys on defense. They had drool coming out of their mouths, just eyes just lit up. So now I was actually in the game, and I can honestly tell you, man, it was satisfying playing in that environment because that's what you want when you're a little kid. You want to play in those type of situations. That's what I got. So at the time, it was electrifying. It was definitely top 3 when you're looking at all the places that I played at.
All right, top 3.
Yeah.
So there's 2 more ahead of you then. So give me the other 2.
At Maryland, 2011.
Wow.
All right, so
that's the game when you guys came back. Yeah.
The 18-point comeback. And
Maryland, those fans are rude, the students.
Very, very much so. Just very rude, man. Just, I'm sure their moms wouldn't necessarily be proud of the comments that they were making. But hey, it's college football.
Or the things they were throwing.
Absolutely. Anything can happen out there, But Maryland was pretty exciting, man. And again, it's when you're in those situations, when you're in those moments, you don't really see it for what it is until the end of the game happens, or you're rewatching on film. And we're down, and they're just raucous out there, just out of control, pure chaos, screaming, yelling, cursing, throwing stuff. And we was like, man, how are we going to get out of this situation? The momentum started to shift. Sammy returned a kickout for a touchdown. Floodgates open. We were right back in it. Once you get in the game, things sort of die down out there. And that's why I think in this Florida State game with Clemson coming up, we won't necessarily see what we're used to because I think they'll be out of the game really early.
Yeah, the score you gave, definitely.
42-14. Let's see. Man, in the ACC itself, South Carolina actually was my number 3.
Yeah.
Out of conference, but, regardless of the situation, I know we don't really like those guys, but Williams-Brice is pretty solid when you're talking about going into play, especially in the night game.
Talk about nasty student section.
Absolutely. So we warm up right in the student section. I heard some things I never heard before. I had to look at myself and figure out if they were true about me, I was like, wow, maybe they know something I don't, But yeah, again, one of those crowds where people are passionate about it. And when you talk about college football and what it means, you will hope that people care about it as much as you do. Mm-hmm. And obviously that's what we get when we go on the road. Auburn, 2010.
Yeah. Cam Newton.
I'm telling you, man, I've never been in a situation where the ground was actually shaking. And maybe it was just me. Maybe my knees were shaking. But, I thought the ground was shaking.
Yeah.
So just deafening in there, man. It reminded me of what I used to hear about Outson Stadium, with Oregon, the zoo. You hear so much about it because it's so condensed down in there. That's what I thought it was. And then, obviously, playing here, I think sits at number one just because, Clemson doesn't, realize how special this place is. And I'm sure some people do, but when you talk about places to play, most people want to come here more than they want us to go there. So Clemson does a really good job. And actually, I think pretty hospitable people, take care of people, don't necessarily pour beer on them or throw batteries or any of that. So they keep it pretty PG here.
Yeah. I would imagine an underrated place that I always say is underrated, and probably because I think their fan base, they have a identity problem. I think part of them wants to be football fans, and the other part wants to be basketball fans. But to
Virginia Tech.
Well, not Virginia Tech.
We didn't talk about Virginia Tech.
Yeah, we didn't talk about them yet. We will. NC State.
Yeah.
Carter Finley Stadium. When they're playing well, and that place is at night, to me, it seems like it can be intimidating.
NC State, honestly, is very similar to kind of the curse of Bobby Dodd that we was talking about, the ghost of him.
The ghost of Bobby Dodd. Robert loves it when we talk about the ghost of Bobby Dodd.
It's a real thing. Rob. But yeah, NC State is that, and it's to me, I don't know, maybe because the walls around it are gray.
Yeah.
It's something to it. It has its own little virtue there. I can remember vividly when we were losing that game in 2011. And they played crisscross. Mm-hmm. Crisscross will make you jump. And I just couldn't get it out of my head because I'm looking across the sideline. Those guys are over there dancing. They're pop locking, all of that. It was just really disappointing, dissatisfying as a football player, as a quarterback, as a leader. But more or less, they had a good time. Their fans brought it that day, much like Boston College in a sense. Even though BC is away and it's kind of out there a little bit, and you think it's kind of one of those, high-tech MIT kind of schools, mm-hmm. Boston College, when they want to, can actually bring something. And that's what's so exciting about the ACC as a whole, and what people don't really understand about the conference. It's regardless of the situation, I know it has a basketball reputation, mm-hmm. but the people around here do care about their football in this conference. Duke was Duke, so it wasn't what I thought.
I was about to say, yeah, y'all, come on, Tajh, y'all beat Duke 52-7 or something.
Plus, their guest locker room was about a mile away, so that was a whole other ordeal itself.
You have to be focused for the walk over to the field.
Yeah, man. And that's the thing. I think what people don't realize about going to away stadiums is that not everybody's prepared to accommodate you like Clemson is for these other teams that come here. When we go down to Maryland, we're changing in portable storage.
I remember that, yeah.
And all of our jerseys are lined up right next to each other, so we're all getting dressed side by side. And the coaches don't really have a space, so we got Robbie Caldwell sitting right over there, changing right in front of us.
It's an image I don't want to see.
Yeah, so I guess we all come closer that way.
Yeah, that's how you become a team.
Yeah. What else, man? I tell you, Syracuse was really cool to play at. Just because, you look up and you see Jim Brown, and you see Larry Zonka's jersey hanging up there. Mm-hmm. And it is in the Carrier Dome. And obviously I love Donovan McNabb. So, again, when I'm out there, every arena to me is more or less the Coliseum. All right? There's a modern gladiators and then former ghosts that used to play there that I know that I've realized were on that field. And when you step out there, you realize how special that is. So yeah. It's really cool looking at it from that point. I guess it's all perspective. But, going out there and being like, golly, man, like, this guy did this on this date, and he ran for these many touchdowns, or he threw this, or, this guy had that many sacks, Lawrence Taylor, guys like that. It's pretty awesome, man. So each stadium has its own little ordeal with it that makes it unique, that makes it special.
You think of that player, that one great player they had.
Yeah, exactly. Virginia Tech, going out there was October 1st, I believe, 2011. It was raining sideways. It had a fog over it.
The fact that you know the date tells me how much it meant to you.
Oh man, I'm telling you, man. Coach was like, "Look, you're a team captain," and walking out of that, locker room, onto that field. I mean, if you couldn't get fired up for that, I don't know what, man. So each game, again, you know, you'll walk out as a player and you will have these goosebumps, or you will have this electricity, or you will feel nauseated. I mean, it wasn't like I was so fired up each game that I was ready to play. It was almost like I need to get hit right now, just so I can get geared up for this right here. So
Virginia Tech, to me, anybody always asks me how would you rank the stadiums?
Yeah.
I always rank Virginia Tech second behind Clemson.
Yeah.
I think because of the tailgating. I know you don't get to see that much as a player, but the tailgating is very similar to Clemson in my opinion. And then and the way they just kind of take over the campus in that little area, and it's a small town.
Right.
And then at night, you know, when they are playing well, that stadium can be a pretty great atmosphere.
Absolutely.
You know, am I right? I know you played there at the 3:30 game.
Totally right.
But
totally
yeah,
right.
am I right? That would be number 2 in the ACC, and then to me, Florida State's number 3.
Yeah. When Florida State's playing at their peak, absolutely. I mean, Virginia Tech, I don't care if they're not ranked. If they're ranked top 5, you're going to get what you're going to get there.
Mm-hmm.
There are so many memories that were played in that stadium. I mean, we can go back to the Matt Ryan.
Y'all broke the streak, by the way.
Yeah, did we?
Yeah, Clemson was hadn't won there in 20-something years.
Yeah.
Until you guys went up there and won, and not only won, you guys laid the wood to them that day. I remember that. You threw the touchdown pass to Dwayne Allen.
Yeah, across my body, man.
Yeah.
Rolling this way, threw it back. Still don't know how I got the ball out there, but it happened. You know, it was special to walk out there with a win. Georgia Tech, you know, it's kind of, you know, get what you give kind of deal. I mean, you step out there. I know they have a lot of engineering students, but you know, some of these kids don't even know what football is. But you know, they step out there. You know, they're competing and they're yelling for their squad over here. You know, we got Clemson faithful in the building. And when you get that collision, man, it can be pretty electric, especially when we're talking night games. 12 o'clock games anywhere, you're kind of going to get what you're going to get.
It's an advantage for the road team for a 12 o'clock game, am I right?
Absolutely. Every day of the week. You know, you step in any arena in a night game, man, it's just everything's off the table. I mean, NC State especially, Georgia Tech especially, Syracuse, it doesn't really matter because you're in the dome, right?
Yeah.
Never played at Louisville, but I'm sure Papa John's can be pretty crazy at night. You went down for that one, right?
I did. I've been down there a couple times.
How was that?
It's it's not as intimidating as I thought it would be.
Yeah.
I was a little disappointed both times I went.
Yeah.
I thought they weren't as loud as I thought it was going to be. You know, I guess you can ask Robert that too. He's down on the field. He could probably get a better. But from my angle, it wasn't very intimidating. So
yeah, it was knocking back over there. That Woodford over there. Yeah. Man, this is a pretty special conference, though, man. And I think that the ACC has been able to prove that, man, year in and year out, especially during bowl season. Nobody really knows its worth outside of the conference, and you know we get a lot of slack for it. But I mean, like any other conference, I mean, you're going to have your good years, your bad years. This is a downtime, I believe, at least for the Atlantic side of it. I mean, the coastal's pretty even. I mean, everybody's 4-2, 5-2 on that side.
Yeah, Virginia Tech's 3-0 going into Thursday night's game, and you know, it's Virginia. I think sitting there at 3-1. I think those are the two front runners. Yeah. Everybody else has 2 losses, so those 2 teams control their destiny, if you will.
Well, and I tell you what, Virginia played there once, but I went down as a recruit in high school, and Matt Shaw was still quarterbacking. I fell asleep at the game.
Oh, wow.
It was a real thing. It was a wine and cheese kind of crowd.
So that really made you want to go there.
Sweater vest, the whole bit. Yeah, absolutely.
New Year's Day song, the fight song.
Absolutely. You
it's
know,
where's the champagne?
The frat party that aren't ragers. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That says it all. So we know where Tajh ranks Virginia on that list of places to go. And y'all actually went up there and beat the snot out of them.
2013.
Yeah, you beat the snot out of them, if I remember correctly.
I didn't even play one series in the second half.
Yeah, 51-3 or something like that. It was pretty brutal.
So 3-0 against the home state. You know, Virginia Tech twice, Virginia once. It's a pretty nice deal. You know.
I know. Later on, we feel pretty comfortable about this. Clemson will be in the ACC championship game, and we'll be able to talk about that because there's a story, and I want to tease it because there's a story. I had the privilege when I worked for Clemson that I got to be there on Thursday nights when Dabo would talk to you guys, and the week of that 2011 ACC championship game, the speech Coach Sweeney gave that Thursday night. I know you remember it. I remember it. I want to talk about that then, not now, because we want to save that for them. But got a lot of good stuff with Tajh. You got a lot of good stuff through the rest of the week on the Clemson Insiders. We get you ready for Clemson, Florida State. Stay with us. Check out Tajh's column on Sunday afternoons on our website. Does a great job. Heck of a writer. So please check it out if you haven't before. Stick with TCI.